Maximilian, hey, congratulations on your new film, The Dive.
Thank you very much.
It is so exciting, so riveting, edge of your seat, but we have to hear is where did the original idea came from for your film?
Well, The Dive is a remake of a Swedish film called Breaking Surface, which came out, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And I was approached by the production company who had the remake rights for it. And yeah, at first I thought, why would I make a remake? Because remakes usually suck. And so I didn't want to do it at first, but then I read the screenplay and I thought, wow, I mean, you know, I'm a diver myself, and I used to dive a lot when I was younger. And I thought, wow, this is an opportunity I can't miss. I have to do this. And then I started writing and started to being a little bit creative and thought, okay, how can I, make this my film? And yeah, and I was inspired enough. I mean, I liked the original a lot, but I think I could change things and give it some new perspectives, and that was the origin of it. Yeah.
I want to say the original was set like in the mountains, and you took it in a much tropical setting, which is much better for you, right?
Yeah, it's much more fun. No, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. The original was like in the cold waters, and it's snowing outside, and this actually adds to the problems they have. But I think, okay, I don't want to do the same thing again. And as the origin for it was kind of my love for the ocean and then my love for scuba diving. I wanted to make it as beautiful as possible, and to have this other side to it. It's not only about anxiety and scary and terror. It's also about the beauty of the ocean. For me, it is, at least. Yeah,
it is a very beautiful film, and I mean the wonderful cinematography, the shoots. Could you tell us about how you handled the underwater shoots, because that itself must have been really challenging?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When before I said I'm going to do it, I said, okay, I want to shoot as much as possible, or not as much as possible. I want to shoot everything for real underwater. So, and not only in the studio, but also in the ocean. And everybody said, you can't do that. You can't, if you shoot in the ocean, I mean, you're gonna face so many problems, and it's impossible. But the cinematographers, the underwater cinematographers, of course, they love it. And they said, all right, you do it in the ocean. Okay, that's a whole different game then. But of course, as nowadays, I can't compete with the visuals of a big budget film. Yeah, because we don't have the budget for CGI and for VFX. The only chance for me to get those spectacular, images was to shoot for real underwater, because you can't, I mean, to do this in CGI, I mean, it might be possible, but this is, I wanted to feel it as real as possible. So no sharks, no crazy alien stuff, just a realistic story underwater. And yeah, and the challenges are, of course, immense, but this was also the fun of it. It's like a documentary in the nature. You can't force it. If the weather doesn't want you to shoot, you can't. If the current is too strong, if the visibility underwater doesn't work anymore, you just have to be zen about it, so to say. And yeah, and that was actually very challenging, but it was also very, very exciting. It was really fun, to get out on the boats every morning, check the weather, and then we found the spots where the weather is okay, just around the corner, of the island. And yeah, and then sorry. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, I can't wrap my head around the fact that how you handle the lighting underwater. What is it? What were you guys filming? What, like 20 meters down?
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, the deepest we went is like 30 meters for the really wide shots. But everything which is under the rock is, of course, it's much shallower. It's like 3 meters or 2 meters, actually, when they're really under the rock. And the lighting is, there are two parts of it. So we shot in an underwater studio. And this, of course, we lit, but to shoot in the ocean, the lighting is all about, of course, it's all natural, and you just have to shoot in the right time of day. So we did a lot of underwater scouting, and we figured out, okay, we have to shoot this in the morning, this we have to shoot at 2 p.m., this we should have to shoot at 4 p.m. And we made a schedule where, yeah. And then, you come up with a plan, but then the weather doesn't, the weather doesn't act as you like, and you have to, improvise. But yeah, it's, you can't really light in the ocean, of course. Yeah.
Of course. Now, when you have a film like this, how is the casting process actually work? Do you put out a requirement that they have to be expert divers? And how did you land with Sophie and Louisa in the end?
Yeah, we started looking for actresses who could actually dive. That wasn't possible. I mean, there was just too few of them, or actually none. So then we were looking for actresses who were crazy enough to do this and who were willing to do the training. And the problem with diving is you think you are able to do it, but it's a psychological thing. I mean, it can happen that you dive for a few days or for a few weeks, and then you have one bad experience underwater, and then you just quit. You can't do it anymore. And so I was when we started the training with Sophie and Louisa, after a long casting process, of course, and it was all in Corona and COVID, so it was all over Zoom, which was also weird. And then they started the training in their countries, so in the US and in the UK. And I was nervous that they quit, that they think, oh my, it's too much. So we started very, very soft on them. We wanted to make them love diving, because they had to become really, really good and really experienced. When you act underwater, when you act the terror and the fear, it's very close to the real emotion. And when the real emotion of panic, and when you panic underwater, it's obviously super dangerous. So we had to make sure that they became really good and experienced. And now luckily for us, they fell in love with diving. They still dive, and they fell in love with each other also. So best friends now. And I was just lucky, I have to say. Yeah.
Well, you made a wonderful film. It's beautiful. It's riveting. The dive is surely to recommend, and especially the fact that I feel so sorry that it was a series of unfortunate events one after another. But
but it all worked out. So in the end, all was good. Yeah.
Well, Max, thank you very much for carrying this conversation. A lot of people will check this out. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kate. Thank you.